everybody. Thanks for stopping in and joining our live update on this Tuesday afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Leslie Hudson. Joining me here in just a minute will be Jayjack, but we're going to take a look at the radar first. There's a lot of weather we're looking at today in two separate areas of the country. So as we take a look at the app, I have the Storm Prediction Center's severe weather outlook toggled on, and you can see that there is this area that's down across the deep south where there has been a lot of embedded thunderstorms and lightning. There's also been a lot of flooding rain, but then there's also a completely separate area in the high plains that is under an enhanced risk, and you can see that up here. And this is going to be a concern as we head into the next several hours. So we're concerned that the risk will be for some of these tornadoes. And of course, this is not a typical area that we would see severe weather, but sometimes at least once out of the year, or give or take, we do see this kind of weather develop in the high plains. And that is where we find our very own storm chaser, Jayjack, who is chasing the severe weather today for us in Montana. And Aaron, I believe you're in Glendive, Montana?
Yeah, that's correct. I'm in Glendive, Montana. It's right on the Yellowstone River here, is right behind me, and the interstate I-94, so it's a highly traveled area. And I've been looking at the weather models today, and it kind of looks like this will be the area. Things should initiate here in the next hour or two. Should see those supercells. Some of those supercells do have the potential to produce tornadoes this afternoon and the evening. But the main threat will likely be that wind and that hail threat. I'll be tracking the storms this afternoon in this northeastern quadrant of Montana, and then probably end up later on tonight into the northwestern parts of North Dakota.
Aaron, what is some of the differences when you're chasing in the high plains where you are, where there's just, hundreds of miles before you even see another car or another building versus the central plains where it's also sparsely populated, but there's obviously more people around. Do you chase differently when you're in this area of the country?
Yeah, it depends on the chase. One of the things I have to consider down in the central and southern plains is there's a lot more traffic, like you mentioned, especially storm chaser traffic. We don't get a lot of storm chaser traffic out here, so that means I don't really need to consider that storm chaser traffic. Sometimes I'll make sure I stay a little bit out ahead of the storm to kind of avoid some of that traffic, make sure it doesn't make me fall behind. But right now there's not a lot of chasers out here, so I should be able to get right up close to that storm, stay right underneath the storm pretty much the whole chase. But the big thing here to worry about in the northern plains is gasoline. So you're fewer and farther between gasoline stops. So that becomes more of one of the chess pieces in the whole chase strategy out here is managing that gas. So I'm making sure I'm staying gassed up, and because it could be like you said, hundreds of miles before I see another town.
Well, I can only imagine there's so many things you have to think in the back of your mind when you are doing these chases. In terms of tornadic structure, oftentimes we see these storms that form in the high plains or either in southern Canada. They're very picturesque, usually very large, rotating tornadoes. Is that typically what we see in that area of the country, as opposed to maybe some of those tighter vortexes that we would see down in the central plains? They're usually very large, expansive tornadoes.
Yeah, you think you have a little bit more of a drier air, I think can infuse in here into these storms, and that generally gives you more of those sculpted, those low precipitation or even classic supercells, and less of those HP supercells. But that's when those storms stay discrete, and then that's the best chance for the storms to produce tornadoes. A lot of times, though, what I see as they move away from the mountains to here to the west and the western part of Montana, they get more into the plains, into North Dakota, as you get a lot of shelf clouds. They get outflow dominant, and you get a lot of those. You potentially even get derecho. There's a derecho, like I think today is the anniversary of last year's derecho that came through South Dakota, then up through North Dakota, and then into Canada. So it just all depends, but I think more times than not that when you see a tornado here, it is one of those more photogenic, picturesque beauties out in the. It's very wide open here, so they don't usually hit any kind of buildings or anything like that. So.
Absolutely. And are you going to be chasing, I would imagine, you're a couple hours behind us here in the Eastern time zone. Will you be chasing for the several more hours today and then pick it up again early tomorrow?
Yeah, that's right. I have a plan. I'm going to stay in Williston, North Dakota tonight. I kind of anticipate that and for me tonight, they'll continue on into Canada this afternoon, this evening. But I'll stop in Williston because then there is another risk tomorrow in western Montana. And then a bigger day on Thursday across Montana and the Dakotas, even Wyoming and Nebraska probably see some severe weather, but I'll probably be targeting the Dakotas, probably North Dakota, South Dakota border again on Thursday.
Yeah, we already see the SPC has that at an enhanced risk, so it'd be interesting to see if that goes up to moderate by then. All right, Aaron, well, best of luck. Safe chasing for you today. We'll be looking for your videos and your live streams on your channels, and of course, we'll retweet them out. That is our very own Aaron Jayjack reporting live from us for Glen in Glendive, Montana. Thank you so much, Aaron.
Yeah, see you guys later.
All right, sounds good. All right, well, a couple of other areas that we're watching is completely different area. We've got 2 weather cameras with our partners in WeatherStem, and the first one is all the way along the eastern part of the United States. It's over at Penn. Okay, so we're going to bypass that, and we'll take a look at some of the viral videos that we have for you instead. We'll try to get back to those WeatherStem cameras in just a second, but let's take a look at Frederick, Colorado, because this was an impressive rope tornado that was captured yesterday on video, and again, it was highly tweeted out and across social media, across all the platforms yesterday. If you didn't see it, you can see it very clearly here. Several vantage points being spotted from storm chasers that were capturing this one, and it was just one of several tornadoes that were on the ground in this area of the country earlier in the day yesterday. Our next video is coming out of Ontario, and this is, Aaron was talking about shelfies. Take a look at this. This is over Lake Erie. Unbelievable. Look at this shelf cloud that was over Lake Erie yesterday afternoon. Again, another round of severe weather here as well. And we've been watching that area of weather. Just a phenomenal video there of that shelf cloud. And then our last video, this is in Goodland, Kansas. Outflow boundary being captured. This was from a storm that came out of Colorado that moved over the Goodland, Kansas National Weather Service offices, and they captured this really cool time lapse. I got to tell you, these are some of the best time lapses that we'll see from National Weather Service offices come from this office right here in Goodland, Kansas. They do a phenomenal job capturing all kinds of weather, and again, that's some of that outflow boundary that came out of those severe storms in Colorado earlier in the day. But we shift back over to the Mid-South, and then we're going to talk about what's going on in the high plains. Again, 2 very separate areas dealing with rough weather today. So as we look at the big picture, I've got our 5 radars up, and we are across the southeastern part of the country right now. And again, there has been severe thunderstorm watches. There's been flash flood watches. This area of the country has seen so much rain this year that just these brief occasions of downpours can create a very dangerous flooding potential. So you can see that there is that risk with our storms that are firing across the southeast today, and the potential could be there for some severe weather as well. And then take a look at this. I looped this over the last hour, and you can see several of those storms presenting with some early rotation. That doesn't mean that they're going to become severe storms, but it does indicate that there is some rotation at the lower levels and mid levels of those storms as they continue to track towards the east. And then there's just a ton of thunderstorms across the southeast, but all the way up into the Carolinas and even up into the Midwest. It's just a busy day across this area of the country. Lots of weather that's going on, and keep that full, Damien. I'm going to drag this radar up to where Aaron is, because again, there's also been this area that we've been tracking here. I'm actually going to have to turn off the lightning because there's so much of it. It's hard to see what's going on here. But again, just an incredible amount of energy with these storms. This is where that enhanced risk is, right where Aaron is. He's right in that notch of the severe weather. So the potential there for some of these large rotating tornadoes that we've been talking about. And let me pop that back up there real quick. I had to edit that live on the fly because the particular product I'm showing, I can't show two different camera views at the same time. So here we go. So you can see all of that energy just to the southwest of Bismarck, North Dakota. And then there's another secondary batch. And these are some pretty large storms that are going to be firing throughout the day today. So that's where the enhanced risk is. And we could see that develop through the hour and elongate down into South Dakota as well. You can see some of those storms that are just now starting to blossom north of Rapid City, and that's going to line up with that line of storms that's near Bismarck. So with 2 separate areas that we're tracking with the severe weather, I'll come back down here because again, there is a lot of weather going on across this area of the country today, and it goes all the way up into the northeast. Let me zoom this over here too, because there's some pretty nasty weather that's been moving through New York City, just moved through Philly. And we have severe thunderstorm warnings there. Those orange polygons are severe thunderstorm warnings. There's also been some flash flood warnings, flash flood watches. So just a busy weather day in general across many parts of the country, not just even the 2 places I highlighted. So it's been pretty busy. more anticipated as we head into today. But let me show you the Storm Prediction Center's official outlook first, and then we'll go back to our weather stem cameras. We've got about 40,000 people at that enhanced risk today, about 2 million people at a slight risk, and 44 million at a marginal risk. So the concern, of course, being for those rotating storms, the hail, and as Aaron mentioned, you know, some of these that do develop can be on the ground for long periods of time, and usually have they have the HP, the high precipitation signature with these supercells, and so sometimes they're rain wrapped and are harder to find. But Aaron, of course, a pro, will know how to do that as he heads and chases those in these next couple of hours. So there's the risk with everybody in the next couple of hours. But let me go back to the weather stem cameras because those are now working. So we're going to take you over to Pennsylvania. As I mentioned, it's been a busy weather day. So look at this, though. This is from the Penn State Beaver Stadium. It looks fantastic. You know, there's a beautiful blue sky. There is not a storm cloud over the horizon. Way off in the distance, there's some cumulonimbus there trying to build. But so far, they're having a great day. But there is some weather anticipated in that region of the country later today. And then over in Tennessee, we'll switch gears back over to the mid section of the country. And this is, you know, the mid-south where we've been also tracking weather. But here, too, which was stormy earlier today when I picked this camera, now showing blue sky with high clouds, some blow off from some of those thunderstorms. Madison County, Tennessee is where this is. And, you know, as we head into these next couple of hours, there will be some of this severe weather developing in this region of Tennessee, or at least just to the south and to the west of it. I think there'll be some storms. Now, we've also been talking about the intense, we'll go back to WSI if you don't mind, Damien, for a second. We'll take a look at the accumulated rain totals that have been going on for the last 2 days. Take a look at this, 5 to 10 inches in parts of Arkansas. So I put a couple of cities on here, Pine Bluff, Monticello, and Oxford. And if you look at our legend up at the top there, it says anywhere from 5 to 10 or more inches of rain in just those 2 days' time. So that is why there is a flash flood watch up in that area, and that is why there's also been some localized flooding and some water rescues have been in that area. As we head into the remainder of tonight, you can see those storms. They'll be strong as they move across the midsection of the country and into those high plains. And then as we shift down towards the southeast and the eastern states, that's where we'll be watching for tomorrow's weather. But as we mentioned, on Thursday could be another big severe weather day for the high plains, so and across the western plains. So that'll be an area we'll be focused in on as we head through the next 24 to 72 hours. Quick look at the storm reports. Again, there's not been a bunch over the last 2 days. So I just did these numbers. So roughly about 150 storm reports between today and yesterday, about 8 tornadoes, 104 wind reports, and about 36 hail reports. And then I wanted to also just quickly get you updated on the tropics because the Storm Prediction Center still watching an area of low pressure in the Caribbean. Now, they only give it about a 20% of development, but of course, if they're watching it, that means we're going to watch it too. So we'll let you know how this all plays out. The general thought would be that if this did try to get a little bit better organized, this would be something for, you know, Central America. It would not be a concern for, you know, the United States at this point. Way too early to be talking about that. But of course, we'll let you know if that happens. And of course, since it is hurricane season, what better time to get yourself in the know of how to prepare for 2021? And the My Radar Storm Team actually did a 5-part series that we are hoping you'll check out on our YouTube channel. There you will see our videos where we have interviewed the National Hurricane Center, the National Weather Service, our partners with Flash, as well as some other folks that are experts in the hurricane field. So we hope that you'll take a moment to check out Surviving the Season. It's on our YouTube channel, and it's also in the app in our My Radar Media layer, I believe is where it's at. You can check those videos out and get you ready for the 2021 hurricane season. And if that wasn't enough, we've got some good news to lighten your load. We are just on the cusp of getting to 100,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel, you guys. In the last week, we have gone from about 78,000 to almost 100,000. So thank you for taking the time to liking the channel and subscribing. So we are just right on the verge of getting another phone out to another lucky winner. You either get to pick a Google phone, a Google Play phone, or a Apple phone. So you know, make sure that you like the video. You have to go to this specific video that Mike Linden has made on our YouTube channel about the 100,000 subscribing winner, And if you like that particular video and subscribe to our channel, you are entered to win the contest. No purchase necessary, and there are directions on our website if you need to check those out as well. All right, before we scoot out of here, we're going to show you some cute little ducks. We've been showing you a lot of ducks lately, but who can not get enough of these little ones? This is another great video that was shot at Lake Eola in Orlando, Florida. And if you know anything about Orlando, you know one of their pride and joys is in fact Lake Eola, and that is home to dozens of swans and all kinds of ducks. And we love to see these little ducklings this time of the year, where the local Orlandoans are very protective of the ducks. And then there's Mama with her little ducks, and as you can tell, she was having a great day. All right, you guys, that'll do it for our live update here in the My Radar studios. Thanks for stopping by and checking things out. We will keep an eye on the weather. We'll have a severe weather update for you in the app and on the social media pages coming up here in just a bit with the weather that's moving through the high plains tonight. So make sure you look for that, and we will see you back here next week. For now, stay safe, and thanks for watching.
But it's absolutely necessary.